Yo, and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Today is Monday, and man, I don't know what it is this year, but I am so into the NFL. Yesterday was amazing, watching all of the games and the playoff scenarios play out and all that. I am all in on this Cowboys team. I'm wearing my Jason Witten jersey today. I'm so excited. Just so excited. Cowboys play the Niners, so that means I can't be friends with Bart for the next week. I don't know any other Niners fans out there. Maybe Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. He's probably a Niners fan. And probably Nate, Tops 85 401. So for the next week, they're my enemy. Not really. But, man, if this isn't a year that they have a chance, then I don't know. Because there's no NFC team that just scares the piss out of me. Now, the Cowboys have lost to Clinton. I'm not saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but it feels like this year there's so much parity among the league. There's no teams out there that just go, wow. Even the Chiefs have their flaws. The Packers have their flaws. The Titans have their flaws. So it'll be real interesting to see this playoffs go out. Last night's game with the Chargers and the Raiders, with the chance that they tied and both got in, and just unbelievable. So cool. So I don't know why I'm so into it this year, but I definitely am. And maybe it's because I haven't been buying cards. But speaking of that, man, I've talked about the concept of found money before. And what I mean by that is, if found money, in air quotes, is just money that kind of it's not part of your job. It doesn't really, not part of your budget. And so it's just kind of extra. It's kind of bonus, right? And to me, found money is very easy to spend because it is extra, like I said. And I usually, with found money, will buy stuff kind of out of the norm, maybe a little bit. Stuff I wouldn't normally buy. It's like if you get a gift card to a place and, normally I wouldn't buy this, but because I have this gift card, it's essentially found money, I will buy this thing that I wouldn't necessarily buy with my own quote unquote money. And found money is great, by the way. I love it. And found money can come in a lot of forms. It can come in, like I said, an extra bonus check that you didn't expect, or getting a nice gift card from a family member for Christmas or your birthday or something, or just you sold a card for a profit that you didn't expect, that you can then use that money to put back into the hobby. And I had some found money about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I've been kind of looking how to spend it because it's hobby money, found money. And so I talked to Julie about it, and I said, hey, this is hobby money. And she's like, yeah, definitely you can spend it on cards. Because again, we've been working on some things and are doing great progress towards that, by the way, on the personal side, getting stuff done. So in theory, I could have taken that money and continued to accelerate the personal debt payoff, or I could spend it on the hobby because it was hobby money to begin with. It stayed in the hobby, and so I kept it in the hobby. And so I have a stack here of stuff that is not even all of it that I bought with this found money. I did some of it. I used to I did a submission with Garrett for some PSA DNA items and just a whole bunch of other random stuff. So to that end, let's get to that. But I'd love to hear stories about things. Do you agree with me about found money? Do you have any stories of something you bought with that found money that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have? And I'll show you how I used mine, at least some of it, here in a second. Hold on, here we go. All right, so here we go. What I love about pickup videos like this is it's kind of a mix. It's some cheapy stuff, it's some not so cheapy stuff, and just a nice mix. And I love having a mix of stuff. The first one is this 2012 Panini Golden Age Minnie Minoso bat card, and I try to get relic cards of every Hall of Famer, and Minoso was one I did not have before, so I think this was like $6. So I went, but he didn't have a ton of relic cards out there, and I only need 3 more now. I need Leon Day, I need a relic card of him, which he has very few, Walter Johnson, who has very few, and Josh Gibson, who also has very few. So those have eluded me to this point, but picked up this Minoso for the collection. I bought a bunch of stuff from JT, Triple Crown 24. He had some cards that he had on consignment that were right up my alley. The first one is this 1985 Topps Dennis Eckersley. So these are just some kind of, I'll call them just mid-range type pickups for my 4-decade set. He just had a bunch of slabs of some player runs, and so we just worked out a deal. A deal for some of these. So you got, get this better. You got the Eckersley right there. Let's see, just do that. So there's that. Then I got a 65 Topps Ron Santo and a PSA 7. Good grade on that. What's great about buying stuff like directly from JT is no tax. You know, you do a deal, just send them PayPal, call it a day. Here is Billy Williams, 74 and an 8. Here's a 69 Billy Williams and a 7. That's beautiful. Love that. And then the last one from JT is this 1970 Topps Joe Morgan. I only need a couple Joe Morgans to finish out his run, and that's true of all these players that I just showed. Santo, I only need a few more. Billy Williams, I only need a few more. So I love just kind of creeping and inching ever closer to finishing these off. But beautiful PSA 7 on that. And then I got some autographs too. This one I bought kind of preemptive strike. Palmeiro, I kind of been on a Palmeiro run. I bought another card that I have coming with this found money. This is the Diamond King from 91 Donruss. I needed, you know, I ultimately think Palmeiro is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the only player with 500 home runs, 3,000 hits that's not. Yes, I understand there's tremendous PED speculation about Palmeiro. But the reality is, I think ultimately we're going to get to a point where all those guys get in. I think McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, Clemens, Palmeiro, a lot of these guys that are really highly speculated and even convicted of or guilty of. Manny Ramirez, all those guys can and should get in the Hall of Fame. And Palmeiro is going to be one of them. So I picked this up so cheap. It was like 30 bucks to get a slabbed Diamond King. Just, yeah, bought that. But that's one of those cards that maybe I would have held off on that. But because I had this found money, I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and get that now. This was actually a JT pickup as well from one of his consigners, the 73 Topps Luis Aparicio. I did not have that as a player era card signed, so love that. My other pickups, I'm going to show my last, I had these kind of out of order. These are all eBay pickups. I'm doing all the Topps Living cards that are Hall of Famers and or future Hall of Famers. I think once I get some more, I'm going to do a showcase of them, but I'm still missing quite a few. So until then, I'll just keep accumulating them. But I'm trying to get them all 9s or 10s. I'm not even trying. I won't get them if they're not 9s or 10s. So this is the Bagwell. And I love the Topps Living design, and it's just so cool to me. Then, again, in anticipation of Hall of Fame season here, I just thought I'd start picking up some guys like similar to the Palmeiro, like Clemens and Bonds may not get in this year. In fact, it's highly likely they won't, this year being their last year on the writer's ballot. But once we get into, it'll be very interesting to see how these players are looked at in the era committees and the Veterans Committee type things. Will they get in? Will they be looked at different? I don't know. I really don't know. To me, Clemens is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best pitchers literally of all time. And so here's his 89 Topps and a 9. So I'm just picking up these for the 4-decade set in anticipation of them getting in at some point. And I'd rather just get them now because they're cheap. Here's an 87 Topps and an 8, which is perfectly fine for me. And then I got a Barry Bonds 88 Topps and an 8. $11 or something. I mean, so cheap. yeah, it's not a 9 or a 10, but I don't need a 9 or a 10. I'm happy just to have the card slabbed up and have an example of it in my collection. So, Barry Bonds. Best player I've ever seen, Barry Bonds, in my life. And then my last, this is kind of a bigger pickup. This checks so many boxes for what I love about this hobby and what just makes me so excited. And that's this 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson rookie card. Signed in beautiful blue Sharpie up there. Gem Mint 10 autograph. The only thing that I wish is that this was a dual graded card, in that, not that the card necessarily needs to be graded, but dual service would have this, instead of saying trading card, it would say 1980 Topps, and then it would have the card number up here. And it would be them authenticating that this is a true 1980 Topps rookie card, but I mean, it is. I mean, it's his rookie card, but, and I don't need the card grade. This wouldn't grade very well anyway. It's probably at best a 7. It's nicely centered though. But I really wanted that Gem Mint 10 autograph, and I wanted it on a rookie card. This is something that I know a lot of guys collect Hall of Fame rookie cards, and I love them too, but get them signed. Like, I want to have the card, and then I want to have a signed version of the card. I mean, I'm just kind of nutso that way, but yeah, I've got a pretty nice Hall of Fame rookie autograph card collection going, and this is a big piece that I've been eyeballing this card for a long time. And honestly, without the found money, I probably would not have bought this, but it was like, you know, I'm finally just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on one of these, because I've again wanted it for a long time. So there you go. That is it for the found money pickups. Let me know what you think down below. We'll talk to you guys soon. Keep collecting.